This is the Sri Ramana Maharshi Satsang, a time to listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. Know yourself and be always free and at peace. Welcome, I'm Richard Clarke. I'm not a guru or a teacher. I love Ramana's teachings and so want to share it. I'll be reading and commenting on the Ashtavakra Gita, Chapter 4, verses 1 to 6. In these verses, Janaka expresses glorification of self-realization. Surely one who knows self, though he plays the game of life, differs greatly from the world's bewildered, burdened beasts. Truly, the yogi feels no elation, though he abides in the exalted state yearned for by Indra and all the discontented gods. Surely one who knows that is not touched by virtue or vice, just as space is not touched by smoke, though it seems to be. Who can prevent the great soul who knows the universe as self from living life as it comes? Of the four kinds of beings, from Brahma to a blade of grass, only the sage can renounce aversion and desire. Rare is he who knows himself as one with no other, Lord of the universe. He acts as he knows and is never afraid. So let's explore these Ashtavakra Gita verses. They express what later Ramana Maharshi taught. In them, Janaka speaks of the profound difference between the enlightened being and the ordinary individual. 4:1. Surely one who knows the self, though he plays the game of life, differs greatly from the world's bewildered, burdened beasts. This verse highlights the profound difference between someone who has realized their true nature, the self, and those who are still caught up in the illusions of worldly existence. Despite participating in everyday activities and responsibilities, the enlightened one remains untouched by the confusion and burden that plague those who are identified with the ego in the material world. The enlightened being sees life as a game to play, understanding its transient nature, and thus remains detached and unaffected by its ups and downs. If nothing actually touches us, we can play freely, like it's just a game. For someone on the spiritual path, this verse serves as a reminder to cultivate both detachment and awareness of the self. It encourages you to recognize the distinction between your true nature and your temporary roles and experiences in life. This awareness leads to a sense of peace and equanimity, regardless of external circumstances. 4:2. Truly, the yogi feels no elation, though he abides in the exalted state yearned for by Indra and all the discontented gods. This verse emphasizes the steady, undisturbed nature of an enlightened yogi's mind. Even when residing in a high state of spiritual realization, which is highly coveted by even the most powerful and revered beings, like Indra, the king of the gods, the yogi remains unperturbed and free from elation or any other emotional extremes. This is because the yogi's sense of self is not tied to external achievements or states, but is anchored in the knowledge of the unchanging reality of the self. For you, this verse underscores the importance of equanimity and inner stability. It teaches that true spiritual attainment is marked by a calm and undisturbed mind, irrespective of external states or achievements. You're encouraged to focus on maintaining inner peace, rather than seeking external validation or temporary highs. If you go up, you'll come down. 4.3. Surely one who knows that is not touched by virtue or vice, just as space is not touched by smoke, though it seems to be. This verse draws a metaphor between space and the self. Just as space remains unaffected by smoke, despite appearing to be filled with it, the self remains untouched by virtue and vice. This means that while actions, virtuous or otherwise, occur within the realm of the ego and the body, the true self remains pure and unaffected by these actions. The realized being understands this distinction and is therefore free from bondage of moral dualities. This verse guides you to transcend dualities like virtue and vice by identifying with the self rather than the ego. It encourages a deeper understanding of your true nature beyond moral judgments and unaffected by actions. This realization leads to liberation from guilt, pride, and from the endless cycle of ethical dilemmas. 4.4. Who can prevent the great soul who knows the universe as self from living life as it comes? This verse speaks to the freedom and spontaneity of an enlightened being. When you recognize the entire universe as an extension of your true self, you're no longer bound by conventional constraints and limitations. Such a great soul lives life effortlessly, embracing each moment as it unfolds, without resistance or the need for control. The sage's actions are natural and spontaneous, arising from a profound knowledge of unity with all existence. For you, this verse is a call to embrace the flow of life with trust and openness. It suggests that true liberation involves living authentically and spontaneously in harmony with the universe. By recognizing the interconnectedness of all things, you can let go of rigid control and allow life to unfold naturally. 4-5. Of the four kinds of being, from Brahma to a blade of grass, only the sage can renounce aversion and desire. This verse highlights the rare and exalted state of a sage who alone among all beings, from the highest deity, Brahma, to the simplest form of life, a blade of grass, can renounce both aversion and desire. Since all is within the sage, there is nothing to avoid or to move towards. This renunciation is not about suppression, but arises from a profound realization of the self, which transcends all dualities and attachments. The sage sees the futility of craving and aversion, and lives in a state of inner freedom and contentment. For you, on the spiritual path, this verse emphasizes the importance of transcending desires and aversions to achieve true peace and liberation. It encourages you to aspire towards the sage's state of detachment and inner freedom, recognizing that true contentment comes from within and not from external circumstances. Now the last verse, 4-6. Rare is he who knows himself as one with no other, the Lord of the universe. He acts as he knows and is never afraid. The verse describes the rare individual who realizes oneness with all existence, recognizing themselves as the ultimate reality, or the Lord of the universe. This realization brings a profound sense of fearlessness and authenticity. The enlightened being acts from a place of true knowledge, free from doubt, fear, or hesitation, deeply rooted in the understanding of their unity with the entire cosmos. For you, the verse serves as an inspiration to seek ultimate realization of oneness with all. It highlights the transformative power of true knowledge, which eradicates fear and brings about authentic, fearless living. You're encouraged to deepen your understanding of your true nature to achieve this state of unity and fearlessness. Together, these verses from the Ashtavakra Gita focus on the profound difference between the enlightened being and the ordinary individual, emphasizing qualities like detachment, equanimity, and fearless authenticity. They guide you to transcend dualities, cultivate inner freedom, and recognize the unity of all existence to achieve true liberation. So now a video from Nome, the illusion of duality.
Every illusion of duality is nothing more than the effect of misidentification, which alone constitutes ignorance or delusion. Non-duality is the natural state of self-knowledge. In non-dual truth, since you are not the body, nor a mind or an ego entity, you have never been born. For the unborn, there is no perishing. In non-dual truth, since the self is both infinite and indivisible, and you are that, why, then free from any other misidentification, there is nothing created, nothing objective. The Maharshi has given the instruction that one ought to abandon the objective outlook and know oneself. For without knowing oneself, one is only dreaming an illusion. If you know yourself, then there's neither dream nor dreamer. That is, no individual, embodied or otherwise, is born, nor is there any objective dream or world. The thing to do for self-knowledge, or self-realization as we call it, is to actually inquire as to who you are. Put the question to yourself, not so much the phrase, "Who am I?" but the introspection implied by it. Questing inward to know the nature of your own being, the innermost consciousness, which is also the abode of bliss. Every conception of dualism, every notion of being bound, that is to say, every apparent cause of suffering, is due only to misidentification. If we inquire, "Who am I?" and know our real nature, the very cause of misidentifying, the cause of imagination, is absent. Then we know with certainty that there is no samsara, repetitive cycle of birth, death, and illusion, and that only Brahman, the vast Absolute, is real. That alone exists, and that alone is the Self. So the Chandogya Upanishad gives the instruction, Tattvamasi, that you are. This is to be known with a knowledge that is self-knowledge, non-objective knowledge. Known in the same way that you know that you exist right now. You have always had this knowledge. It is not time-bound as in past, present, or future. This knowledge is innate. We can say this knowledge ought to know itself. That is, your being ought to repose in itself, free of imagination. Inquire within yourself and determine what your identity is, what your actual existence is. As a hint in the right direction, abandon the misidentification, the tendency to mix up yourself with what is not you. That is, with anything that is objective, anything that is discontinuous or sporadic, anything that is not eternal, anything that has birth and death, anything that depends on your senses to be perceived, anything that depends on thinking to be conceived. If you abandon such, you will really have given up nothing. For giving up the unreal is not like giving up something. And without gaining anything anew, you will find yourself established in the self as the self, which is the greatest peace, and is the state in which reality knows itself, where God knows God.
All right, and now we are going to inquire. You exist, and you know that you exist. Inquire, investigate within yourself. Can I differentiate between my true self and the roles I play in daily life? How do I respond to states of elation or excitement? Do they disturb my inner peace? How do I react to life's challenges and changes? Do I resist or embrace them? What would it feel like to live each moment with the knowledge that the universe is an extension of myself? It's a matter of identity. Who am I? What am I? What is the nature of my existence? All right. And close their chant. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace.
That was just a beautiful talk by Nome that you selected.
Oh, it's wonderful, yes.
Wonderful.
You know, I still think that it's so good that I built up a library of those things. It was a smart thing to do. I'm surprised.
It was your mind got out of the way and it was all heartfelt.
Uh-huh. Well, after, I guess towards the end of the time in India, I took a couple of years and then made these videos from stuff that I had collected in my library of satsangs.
Wow.
And so by now there are a couple of hundred of them available.
It was wonderful and it wound up so good with the Ashtavakra reading too.
Yes, I know. It amazes me that these guys who didn't know each other keep talking about the same thing. And I guess that's one of the things that you get from talking from self-knowledge.
That's right. No
Yes.
differences.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure seeing you. Namaste, and we'll see you next week.
Okay.
You.
Now my second book of comments on Sri Ramana Maharshi's teachings, 40 Verses on Reality by Ramana Maharshi with comments, is available from Amazon. The link to both books is in the video notes. These videos bring Ramana's teachings into your direct experience. Click subscribe to see more. Click thumbs up to like, and send questions and start a dialogue with a comment.